Hi there, friends. Yup, champions, it's real. Okay, I need to set up my coding environment real quick. Oh gosh, my computer's like glitching up. How's everyone? Did you survive the first day of Puyo Champions news? I feel like, I don't know, my world has changed. Almost done. I'm almost ready. Yeah, what's poppin'? Yeah, Sega is super listening to our pleas. I'm glad. It's like we exist. Thank you. Life is good. So I'm trying to get the next window animation working, but it's been weird. This is how it works so far. But it looks laggy, doesn't it? I'm not sure why it has a hard time. Is it because there's like fractional pixel locations? Also, I don't like this zigzag layout. I was experimenting with things earlier, but it's really hard. It's very tedious aligning things, let's just say. What language am I using to code? JavaScript. Okay. Oh, I have to start using up my stamina in Puyo Quest. What's 407? Screw it, I'll just... I don't know. Yeah, the PC version of Puyo Quest has been very convenient. I wonder why they're not gonna have it anymore. Weird. Okay, I need to figure this out. Maybe if I round this to like a whole number? I think that was a little better. Oh, but look, it's ugly right there. I'm not sure why I didn't just make all this math into just like a variable. Maybe I should do that. Hey Fierce Fire, what's going on? I hope the console versions get Japanese voices too. That would be nice to have. Then everyone can hear Ravioli. Oh yeah, they changed Suriri's name to Cyrilli, which is... I don't know how I feel about that. I'm just like, okay. That's not like I really had a detachment to Suriri's unknown name. Cyrilli? Cyrilli? I mean, one of her other names was Ukuna Sukanabito, I think. She could have been named that instead. I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like fraud. Wait, this will only change in the Y position. Oh. Hey, the scale of this one didn't change. Huh. Why is this one all weird looking? What did I do wrong? Oh. All these other ones look... They don't look right either. That... Why does that... Oh, that wasn't working either. Aw, crap, I have to redo this. Okay, somehow this scaling function isn't working. Let's limit this to just... Oh, I see. Because it was rounding the number. I can't round the number for that one. That was dumb. Why did I think of that? There we go. Micro championships? What? Oh, you mean Puyo Quest? Sadly, it's just Puyo Quest. What? Oh. Okay, please work. Oh, cool. That's fine, I guess. Okay. I guess I will painstakingly order this so it doesn't look so ugly. Wait, what's going on in chat? Are you guys talking about Puyo Puyo Fever 1 voice acting? I think the badness has its own charm. It's just our community that understands. Well, that's exactly how I expected it to go. Really, this game, I mean, here's how I would see it. This game, at best, is intended to rope in new people and to at least be interesting at the lower price point. But for the most part, the people who get the most out of it it's just us. Or who will really see the value of what it brings. And who'll take advantage of it. And I don't know. I understand that we need to capture the public more. That to get more people, you know, into Puyo, but I don't know. That will come in time. We can just use this game for now to make ourselves stronger, and I'm satisfied with that for now. I mean, the most important thing is that we no longer have to endure, like, you know, the existential crisis of our Puyo game is even localized anymore. I think signs are pointing up to say that, you know, probably they are and will continue to be. So for now, we don't need to worry too much about the whole world. We can just focus on ourselves and growing our own skills, and that's fine. The world would be nice, but we're nice too. I do look forward to the PC port. It'll be so much easier for people to stream their Puyo Puyo gameplay. Having more streamers of Puyo will always help. Okay. All these numbers that mean nothing to me. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. What's 654? Hey Galmon, what's up? Oh yeah, Bitbaboon's not in charge of the PC port, right? I hope Sega did the PC port with their A team, because the bugs in Puyo Tetris PC were so disappointing. They made me so sad. It's just like, we want to try so hard with what we're given to show the world about, you know, competitive Puyo, but Sega didn't make it very easy until like today. I think we'll be okay now. Oh yeah, they didn't say de nouveau. What issue? Sorry, I don't really know how to use GitHub Quapo. I'm really new to coding, so all these tools, it's just overwhelming to learn them all. I actually don't know how I got accepted into Georgia Tech's Computer Science Master's program, considering I know, like, barely anything. Nothing much is going on for you, Gamon? Okay. I've been staying up to like 3 AM trying to do stuff, but it's tough. Then I go to work late and everyone like gives me dirty looks. So I have to go on this a feature request. Can you just say what the feature is here? I don't know how to look at the feature requests. Wait, did I mess something up here? A very special Puyo skin. Oh, I am planning on adding like hue, saturation, other stuff like sliders to let you edit the colors of the Puyos directly, but I ran into an issue where like the WebGL renderer for that I'm using, framework that I'm using, like if you try to apply the filter every frame, for some reason it causes an extreme amount of lag because it's computationally intensive. So I'm thinking of workarounds, and I could save like the color edited Puyo skin into like the local storage of your web browser and then load it from there, like as a hard-coded PNG file. Maybe that would work. Something's uneven about my placement, but I don't care. Okay, maybe I care a little. I'm like totally just typing in random numbers right now. I should do this like with a more consistent method, but I ain't got time for that. Oh right, I need to... How many times can I pay for coin quests? Oh crap, I don't have enough stamina. I only have enough stamina to do it once. Oops. I think they still have spells for the end of the chains and then, you know, the counter spell. Hey young Bab, what's poppin'? Just learning how to code. Very slowly. Wait, is 99 the max amount of strawberries I can hold? Zero, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Does this look too confusing? Are they not spaced out enough? Whoa, wait, I got a 9 chain? Really? All according to plan. Yo, should I give up on my hopes and dreams for popping Amity and roll Sig now? Roll for the blue child. You don't tell me what to do. How do I get these? Endless Tower? League battles against the computer. Is that right? 26 multi-quest clears. Is that? No. Multi what clears? Oh. What? Oh. I have to use my materials. Wow. Oh, William, are you okay? Hey, an Eggman cross Puyo game sounds really fun. So I should do it. At this point, like, I think people are over the brand confusion, right? Right? It'll be okay. I can put up with it. I'm totally okay with them doing that cash grab. Whatever it takes, right? Alright, Satan multi-quest. 99 replays. Oh no. Please don't curse Puyo like this. Please. Or Kirby. Thank you. What's going on in chat when I look away for like 3 seconds? Arl kills a frog and a bird and a dog without remorse. That's pretty radical. But also not right. Arl will never do that. Hey, Cove. One, two, three, four, five, six. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's see if these animate without lagging like crazy. Okay. That looks fine. Hey, it's only gonna be 2 weeks. We'll be fine. Actually, it's less than 2 weeks. You'll be fine. Just, you know, play Puyo eSports and dream of everything being in English letters. Think about it constantly. Stay up till like 4 AM thinking about the game you could be playing in English. Go to school, draw Puyos on your math test and get a 0. Go home, drop Puyos in the toilet, eat a bowl of ravioli, sit in front of your computer and just stare at it and think of Puyos. There's so many productive things you could be doing. Three-digit magic numbers with no explanation. I know, okay, but like, I don't know how else to do this. Okay. Now I need to apply the mask. How do I do that? Now all my hard work is invisible. Wow. Turn off the music and count to 20. Huh? Why would you want me to do that? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20? Okay. I've been debating on what I should do for this chain simulator. Should I put the buttons on the right side for like the playing it? Or should I put it along the bottom? Make some more space down here. Japanese, no. Oh. I'm not confident in my ability to say Japanese words correctly. It would be too embarrassing. Can't do it. I'm sorry. Wait, what was I working on? Oh, right. I need to make it so the field's editable again. Actually, no. I need to... I need to move this off. Why am I doing this? Did I end up breaking the animations? Is this too slow? I can never tell. Wow. Nice headcanons. Oh, sorry, I just read your suggestion, Cove. Arrange them vertically on the side, the next pieces. I mean, I tried that, but then I don't get to fit enough. I want to show a lot of them. I don't know, just in case someone... Oh wait, or do you mean the buttons? Because this is how I have it now, but... Are you saying like all in one column? Well, my goal is to make this still usable on like your phone, so I can't make the dimensions too wide or else it doesn't work right, like when it fills your screen, I think. Oh, well, if you mash play a bunch, it'll go faster. Okay, I need to add the editor controls. How did I do that last time? Okay, what was it doing? Okay. Okay. Why did I have this in my old code? Just arbitrary magic numbers because I didn't draw these sprites correctly in Photoshop. Oh my gosh. I'm so bad at graphics. Hey, I liked Fusion mode. Fusion mode was really fun. Like, obviously it wasn't like a competitive mode because it's... I mean... the possibility for infinite chaining was clearly there, but I still liked it. Hmm? I don't know. I need to put some placeholder. Huh? Where's my cursor? Oh, I spelled this wrong. What? Oh. Oh, I never called this function. Of course it doesn't work. There it is. Okay. I love Fever 1 music. Fusion mode, I don't know. You can, it kind of somehow like slightly encourages you to do like, you know, multi-line Tetrises and stuff. But really, the most optimal thing to do is just spam singles really fast. Just because of how the chaining works. So Fusion is weird. It kind of misleads you on the right way to play it. I don't know. I thought the guide I made for Sega's YouTube channel was really good about teaching the proper way to play Fusion mode, but it seems like no one watched it and they just went straight to complaining about it. It made me kind of sad. Like, Fusion mode wasn't like super galaxy brain. You just had to throw things down fast. You watched it? Thank you. Oh, wait. Magic numbers! Here we go! You know, I like Puyo Puyo 7's music. Even though the art was kind of like janky, the music was pretty great. Screaming snake case constants to explain my magic numbers. Wait, What? Wait, what's Screaming Snake Case? What's that? Like this? Is that the convention? Oh. Thank you for the donation, by the way, David. Thank you so much. I learn something new every day about being a good programmer. It's hard. I'll keep that in mind. I wish there was a faster way to do these replacements, but there's not. You know, actually... Think... Okay. Whoa. Hey, maybe Puyo Quest is next. They are about to introduce people to a bunch of Puyo Quest characters they've never seen before. And the Puyo eSports icons. So maybe people will get curious and start running the mobile game. That would be nice. Huh? Phantasy Star Online 2. Sega begging culture is certainly a phenomenon that we're all guilty of, huh? Phantasy Star Online 2 is one of the especially hopeless ones, though. I'm surprised people still haven't given up yet. Okay, so here's this argument I hear a lot about like localizing things. It's like, I know for Puyo eSports, a lot of people are like, what's the point in localizing this? The people who care about this game already bought it in Japanese and they're not gonna buy it again. Well, there's loads of reasons why we're buying it again. It's because we love the game. So, I'm pretty much almost everyone I know is double dipping. So that's like a good point. But also, like, it's a game in a language not only you, but your friends can read. So there's plenty of reasons to want it. But I think, like, okay, so Puyo eSports, it's like a package game that you can replay over and over. And like, I don't know. But like Phantasy Star Online 2, all your progress is saved to one account on a specific server. So if the game gets localized, you would lose all your progress. That's totally different. Your Puyo skills will transfer to every game. I don't know where I was going with this comparison. But basically, the idea that people won't buy the game again is not true for Puyo, but it's probably true for Phantasy Star Online too. Because I don't think anyone wants to start over from scratch in an MMO. Yeah. Oh, the fact that it's in like more languages than just English too. That's great. I'm so happy. It's nice that we can get more than just English too. Spanish and French too, right? What were the other ones? Italian, Spanish, French, German, Korean, and Chinese. What could possibly be your incentive to learn a new language? Well, you still have to learn it anyways to communicate with the people in those other Puyo communities. Like, I kind of wish I learned more French when I was in school, because the French Puyo community is really cool and strong. I mean, yeah. It's just... there's just very many barriers of entry that seem small to dedicated fans, but to normal people, it's pretty big. Like, making a Japanese Nintendo account, like, we dealt with it without a second thought because we love Puyo, but like, telling people to wade through controls they don't understand and type in a password into a field they don't know is a password field, and getting spammed with emails in the language you don't understand. I don't know. It's just inconvenient. And I get it if people don't want to deal with that. Like, localization has an important purpose. Just because you can play Puyo without caring about it doesn't mean it's not still needed. Your friend called Puyo a bejeweled clone. How do you respond to it? Well, the way I typically respond is very aggressive. I'm just like, yeah, it kind of plays like that. And then I leave it at that. Actually, I'm too scared to really tell people that they're wrong. No one likes feeling that they're wrong. I just feel like getting people to give Puyo a chance is like this very delicate dance. It's hard. Like, it's very easy to accidentally come on too strong. I'm guilty of that too. But, I don't know. Don't let that stop you. We all make mistakes. And I know we're all just trying to do the right thing for the Puyo community, so... still try your best. If you make someone angry at you, and they like pull out a knife or something, does judo have knife counters? Should we all start learning judo? Oh, I used to wear carbuncle on my bag because I have a clip-on one carbuncle, but people kept calling carbuncle Pikachu, and I just got so sad. I couldn't take it anymore, so I took carbuncle off. Now they just sit in my room collecting dust. Carbuncle never goes outside to see the light of day. I'm too scared. Yes, this extremely nested for loop is really ugly, but... and I understand nothing. Oh right, you said to do your magic numbers like this, right? Right, David? Well, these are the arrays that I'm looping over. There's like 3 dimensions to this, I think. So it gets kind of crazy. I don't know how I set this up the first time without getting confused, but... basically I'm trying to port my old code from TypeScript over to normal JavaScript because I got tired of typing out the types and not understanding how to actually do the types correctly. Am I allowed to do that? I like this one, this song. Oh crap. Why is this math? So the P, R, and I stand for page, row, and item. So there's different pages of tools. Each tool's on different rows, and each row has a different item. Or a different number of items. Okay, before... Okay, I'm almost close to being able to make this show up. The C that determines the drop set. My code for generating the chain seed is really stupid. I need to write comments in my code. I don't need comments. This is very clear, isn't it? Please, for my own sake. I'll be fine. Okay, here we go. Did this compile? Okay. It's not there! Where? Nothing showed up. Why? I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Yeah? Oh, this loop never advances because this isn't a number. Alright, there we go. It's all there. Sort of. I don't have good habits. I mean, I think it's also important to have code that you can understand without a comment, right? I think, for me personally, when I look at this, I think I can get what's going on usually. Other times I have to think about it a little, but it's not like totally incomprehensible like a black box. Because right now what I'm doing is mainly just putting things onto the stage. Now, if you wanted to talk about like the chainsaw algorithm. So, calculating the drop, okay. Do you want to see this? Wait, calculate drop distances. I did some, wow, I didn't comment this at all, even though I should have. This was just like some galaxy brain stuff. I don't know what I was doing here, but like, basically, you have to calculate how far things the Puyo's will drop, but what throws the cog into the gears is the block Puyos, which don't drop. So you have to calculate the drop distances around that. So what I think I did was, I took each column and then spliced it along each block Puyo, and then calculate the drops there by building the array backwards. I think that's what happened. That's what's happening here. I don't know anymore. Well, either way, I know it works. So. When I'm looking up like dev blogs for like JavaScript, people are obsessed with one-liners that make no sense at all. It's kind of overwhelming. It's just like, why do people do this? Is this like professional coding, or is it just like being stupid? I don't know, but it makes me feel inferior either way because I don't understand what's going on just by looking at it. At least write a comment saying I don't know what's happening, but don't delete. Okay. If you say so. This just intimidated you. You wonder how much you actually like programming. I don't know. To me, I feel like your goals in life kind of just depend. I mean, I think after all the torture I put myself through, I think I like coding. But it's more like I have a goal in mind. So whether it's either boring or fun, I'm going to deal with it with all my heart because there's something I want to do. I think it's important to find that, really. Oh. The 3 exclamation points are very important. Okay, I have to add in the other buttons. Oh, this is one of my favorite tracks from Nazo Puyo. It's so good. Maybe you're too tired to be considering your life choices? That's all important too. The businesses aren't depending on my chainsaw. Well, I did think about packaging it for like NPM. But then, I don't know how to do that. It's too hard. I gave up. I mean, if anyone else ever wants to make their own Puyo site, this could be useful for them, right? Maybe. So after I finish this, my next plan is to use my Python program that reads the spectator assist, right? I'm gonna repurpose that code to extract like a long chain of like build orders from professional videos. And then on this chain sim here that I'm making right now, you can play through them. That's what I think might be helpful. Because the drills that are probably going to be in Puyo Puyo Champions will be like perfect pieces. But copying how a professional player plays might give you a different perspective. Refactor it, but like, I like the way I did it. If I stare at it for like maybe 3 more hours, I'll remember how this works. How does this work? I mean, at this point, I don't need to remember how it works. Just does, okay? Where was I? Oh, right. I need to add in the other buttons. Time for more magic numbers. My favorite kind. By the way, thank you for the donation, David. It's just receiving this kindness. It's just never in my wildest dreams, basically. I still think that even after like what, 3 years of streaming now? Still. Thank you. Magic number. I don't know, it's just like, I guess I have self-worth issues. It's just that, I don't know. I think we're all kind of used to thinking that Puyo isn't a game that most people care about. Actually, that's true. But like, for people to then ask you to, I don't know, create fan work like streaming or making videos or making art, for people to want that from you, it's just like, wow. Like, maybe I should change my view of the world and be proud, or a lot prouder, that people love Puyo. It's a unique situation, I guess. I mean, I guess it's another form of like, what, imposter syndrome? That's me every day. Eventually you just have to get over it and realize that you're working hard, doing the best you can do, right? Attractive. Wait, I need this visible for now. Otherwise, you want to know anybody that plays Puyo. That makes me happy. So did you join the Puyo Discord and stuff? One thing I want to study up more is like optimizing code to be fast. I think I go a little too much on like these nested for loops, but like that's computationally like terrible, right? Can you do a hash table in JavaScript? I don't know. Well, maybe you want to get better. I'll understand how to optimize. What was he doing? Well, this function that I'm writing now will only run once, so I guess it's not like super important about like... Now for things that have to run on every frame though, now that becomes a problem. But I don't think I've run into that yet. I've been trying to avoid that. I mean, I think if I was running like some like machine learning thing and I had like a bajillion loops, I guess that's when I should care. But I think it's pretty deterministic that the max I'll go to is like, what, 12 iterations or something? Or 13 rows, 6 columns. That's not really that much, is it? Well, I do have... No, for the most part, I'm only working with 2D arrays. Although this particular one... Well, that's because just of the way I set up like the incoming data. Because there's like different pages of tools organized by row, ordered by columns. So that got, I don't know, I couldn't think of an easier way to like iterate that. Don't repeat yourself, right? Okay, that's there. Am I going through databases? Oh, I want to start helping Ninja more with the Puyo bots that we run on our Discord server, and those run off SQLite. I've read the documentation a little, and I'm just like, well, still a little confused. But just because I haven't thought of a scenario of how to apply it, I think once to get a better idea of what I could do with it, it will become easier. Let's see. Okay. $25. Oh, that sounds like a lot. What is this? Oh, what's this? Oh, right, the daily news update.
Puyo Puyo Quest.
Flying Battery Act 1? Do I have that? I don't know, I have the boss music. Oh, whatever. What is this? Data download. Oh, wait, time to fail a battle. Battles in Puyo Quest are like super hard because it's all against like the super whaler people. Oh wait. Okay, computer battles are easier. There's a way to cheese this. No, they're also going for the cheese. I think doing computer battles are part of like the title missions or something, right? So you get the stones. Oh, here we go. Is this it? I have to do more battles basically. Ruby Delusions, no. My playlist doesn't include a lot of music. What's the point? I don't know. Why do we do anything in life? Whoa, why is this guild chat so violent? Oh my gosh, I'm closing my eyes. Oh no. Oh! Okay, back to auto-playing, like... Oh? Yeah, Puyo Champions on Steam. I'm excited. Should I do one of the tower quests for once? What was my progress on this? Because these got really hard eventually. Did I ever beat 50th? Oh, no. Okay. Puyo Quest Guild. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm done coding for the moment. Puyo Quest Technical Quest, or the Endless Tower, they're crazy grindy. I'm not sure if I'm ready to beat this, but I'm gonna try. Let me check my purple team. And by purple team, I mean purple, but with, here we go. Should level up my purple cards before I go in, right? Whatever. I'll just waste a planet. Does the technical quests have good music? I forgot. Wait, do I have all the voices downloaded? Okay, here we go. Oh, it's fun Puyo Puyo hell. Who do I think will voice the new characters? I'm not very well versed on the identities of voice actors, so I couldn't tell you who I would think about. Why does it look like the mouse isn't calibrated? It's not? Oh, it's not. Why? I don't know. Puyo Quest is weird like that. Oh, on this stage you have poison hitting you all the time. But with Arl, it shouldn't matter, right? Whoa! Oh my gosh! That happens? Gosh, Aural Carbuncle are so busted in this game. But Popping Amity is even more busted, and that's why I want her. Should I like farm for purples instead of trying to actually defeat this enemy? Oh, too late. Uh-oh, am I supposed to dig down? Four, Trace. Uh-oh. This is not going to end well. Uh-oh. I have to clear the right side. Uh-oh. Oh my gosh! Yeah, okay, I definitely should have farmed the skill before the first stage ended. Because there's no way you can get lucky enough to clear all this that garbage before you die. There's no way. forgot what the strategy was. Well, it's basically hopeless now with these cards, so... Guess that's it. Sad. So sad. Okay, I'm done streaming for tonight. Thanks for hanging out with me and talking about Puyo Champions. I'm really excited for the future. We have a lot of fun ahead of us. And we can do it without, you know, being worried about unbalanced things. We can just focus on ourselves, focus on what we want, train how we want, play the people that we want. We can have fun. It's a new beginning. I'll see you guys in the Puyo Discord. I'll still be like working after this stream, but I'll be watching the Discord some. Just hanging out. So yeah, bye everyone. 2 more weeks until Champions. We can do this.